It's an unorthodox opening day, but it's great to be back. The Duke starting lineup in a 4-4-3 for Robbie Church, who begins his 20th season as the leader of the Blue Devils. Brooke Heinsohn, the starting goalkeeper. Jow, Cosme, Mitchell, and Graham, an experienced back line. Bodie, Jones, Simmons, the midfield. Pluck, McGuire, and Pascal up front for Duke. Blue Devils starting 6 seniors, 4 juniors, and a sophomore. That's not the case for Tony DeLuz. He's got 5 freshmen in his 11, including the goalkeeper, Madison Howard, true freshman from Greensboro. He says she trains like a maniac. We'll see if she's ready for this. Now, relying on the leadership tie of Hannah Betfort, who has started a ton of games and is really going to be the anchor of this team. She has no choice.
Exactly. She's going to be in charge of a new class that's going to be in the back line. So, someone that's experienced up top, like she did her freshman campaign, she moves down to the back. She's been a leader all the way around.
Moment ago, both teams knelt on the field and had a 30-second moment of silence, part of the new racial and social justice initiatives that the ACC has implemented as we restart competition. Obviously, during these extraordinary times, these disappointing times, the ACC trying to lead the way, and student athletes are embracing it wholeheartedly with a unity statement, unity symbol, and how about diversity and inclusion training, now a mandatory part of the curriculum for athletes and athletic department officials and conference staff.
Yeah, speaking to Tony DeLuz, he's so emotional and so has a strong-willed on this particular movement. It's such a joy to hear him speak about this and how much it means to him.
And there's so much meaning to everything going around the world, but in our little nook in the ACC, getting ready for competition, Tony DeLuz, the veteran head coach of the Deeks, and Robbie Church as well, just grateful to be back in Ty. The last ACC competition was March 11th. In North Carolina, day 2 of the conference's marquee event, the ACC tournament in Greensboro. Syracuse 180-153. It was a blowout. The sport and the world got shut down the next day, and today we're ready to return. Robbie Church, as you see, 3 College Cup appearances, 2 of them in the last 5 years for the Blue Devils.
We chatted with him. He said, I think I'll just smile the entire time. We might not see that because of his mask, but he's happy to be on the sideline, and so is Tony DeLuz. And we're happy to be here in the studio.
Yeah, these are 2 veteran coaches, but didn't you sense the youthful enthusiasm and vigor when we got the privilege of chatting with them earlier this week? After 183 days without ACC sports, we are back. Evan Lepler, Ty Collins with you from Spry Stadium, Deacons and the Devils as they meet for the 32nd time. And there was some talk, Ty, that this could be an exhibition game. It is not. This is an official regular season game. However, it is a non-conference game. The Deeks and the Duke Blue Devils will meet 10 days from now in Durham in a conference game. So Wake's starting schedule goes Duke, Carolina, and Duke. Not exactly a easy welcome to the ACC starting freshman, but hey, why not get thrown right into the fire immediately?
These games have been so close. Last year first came down to the wire, going all the way to 2016, a game that we did, actually going back to 2014, the 74th minute, Ashton Miller, that long header over Preston, that was the game winner. So a lot of drama when it comes to Duke and Wake.
Yeah. Duke has won the last 4 meetings between these 2 programs, the longest streak for either one. And it was the Orange and the Tar Heels over in Greensboro Coliseum. That was Wednesday night of the ACC tournament. And you remember, Florida State and Clemson were set for that noon tip-off on Thursday. They took the court through warm-ups when around 11:45, the commissioner, John Swafford, basically had no choice but to pull the plug. And I think obviously it was the right decision at the time. It was an unprecedented situation, and 6 months later, here we are, and it is fun to be watching ACC competition again, especially matchup like this with so much history. The coaches are very friendly, but also very competitive with one another. And it's interesting to try and evaluate expectations, because obviously you and I don't know. The coaches barely know what to expect, what they can reasonably expect for tonight and for the season ahead.
Yeah, Coach Church said to us, he put everything in pencil because you just never know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Delaney Graham possessing for the Blue Devils.
Deleuze usually goes with a 3-5-2. Well, he is that today to go with a 4-4-2. You'll see a more compact midfield, the center mids close together. Work on that press. That's what they want to do. And that's the defending that press and use that to build. We'll watch that. I'll be curious to see how Ryan Brown does up front, because the last meeting she played more a defensive outside winger, but she moved up. And I'll tell you what, she can patrol that sideline.
Brown scored 3 goals last year. 21-year-old senior from Indianapolis.
Right off the minute she got on campus, the 20th rated recruit, she just looked like a senior. The way she moved, she had so much confidence. You knew right away she was going to be in this program and be a star.
Sophie Faircloth took the throw-in, and Wake Forest is going to get the first free kick opportunity here to try and run a set piece. Faircloth, homegrown, Winston-Salem, tons of family history with the Demon Deacons. Her grandfather, Big Daddy Bill Faircloth, was a former Wake Forest football player and assistant coach, long-time member of the program. Obviously, her father, Barry, one of the associate athletic directors in the department. So I imagine it's an emotional night for the Faircloth family, seeing Sophie in the old gold and black. She grew up at Stadium, and of course her sister is also a Wake Forest athlete on the cross-country and track teams.
From Reagan Raider to Wake Forest Deacon.
DeMarco tried to settle it, and her pass is picked off. Duke looks for a quick counter. And the first Blue Devils free kick will come just across midfield.
And that was a beautiful step to stop that counter. For a very, very young back line.
Well, Duke's back line features 3 seniors and a junior, and that junior's preseason All-ACC. Wake Forest back line, not much experience beyond Hannah Bedford. Mia Alberry's back there. She played 11 games last year, only started 1, and then 2 freshmen, Monteith and Sophie Faircloth, the outside backs for Tony Deleuze, playing their first college soccer tonight.
Brecken Monteith is someone you want to for. Excuse me. She's just a warrior. She has a warrior mentality. She also got called up for that national team in Northern Ireland. So, good get for Coach Hughes.
Five minutes gone. No official shots on goal for either side to this point. The freshman goalkeeper getting a touch there, Madison Howard, just 17 years old. She won't be 18 until the 1st of October. One of a couple of 17-year-olds in the Deacs starting lineup tonight. And the other goal for the Blue Devils, a little uncertain whether we would see the veteran Brooke Heinsohn, as the Blue Devils with numbers here. Cross in front, Howard couldn't get it, and it's sent across the end line. Corner kick. Howard, the freshman, getting tested early, where her counterpart, Brooke Heinsohn, relaxed at the other end. Weren't sure whether it would be Heinsohn or Ruthie Jones, the sophomore, who's pushed her, but Heinsohn, who's coming back from an injury, only been practicing for a couple weeks, clearly good enough to go. She had an amazing season a year ago. The header is into the back of the net, and the Blue Devils strike first.
Once again, the Duke Blue Devils with a set piece and able to execute. This what got the Deacons last year.
Absolutely no chance for Howard as Caitlin Cosme heads it home.
Just a quick flick on header, the side stick. Beautifully timed run too. She timed it perfectly. No chance of knocking that down.
Just the second career goal for Cosme, the New York native. Scored a goal against Syracuse last year. One of the 3 captains on this 2020 Duke team. That I think Robbie Church is excited about, in part because they have 9 seniors, and in these extraordinary times, having that experience and leadership to lean upon is a game-changing factor, especially when you compare the roster of experience side by side with Wake Forest.
And with the youth movement there in the line, when you don't get to see each other, you don't get to play 11v11, especially with the spring gone. When you see these corner kicks, you're trying to get some chemistry up to figure out your assignments, and right there is exposed by the experience that Duke has and Wake Forest that does not have it.
Officially, Cosme in the 7th minute from Pascal, who served up a beauty of a corner kick. First shot of the season, Ty.
Right about the same time on the game clock that Wake Forest went ahead 1-0, right there in the 4th minute last year.
That's right.
This time it's Duke.
Mia Zhao was the hero last year for the Blue Devils. Game-winning goal late in the second half to win 3-2. Oh, a bit of a mistake there by Heinsohn. Plays it precariously toward the Deeks, and fortunate to get it to the corner.
Yeah, in that 4-3-3, the goalkeeper has to be pretty good with their feet. Wake Forest, she's got the blood in the water, so they've got to attack, bring that press up, make her work, because she's going to immediately look for that central defensive mid. Last year, it was Jones. This year, see where they push the ball to get the ball up the field. Robbie Church said he wanted to maybe move the philosophy of look up for move forward rather than doing possession. You want to keep possession, but let's move, get these runs going on.
Duke.
Sophie Jones, who played the center defensive mid. She's such a talented player. Top recruit last year. To have her back is incredible. She'll be, all AC guaranteed.
Suffered a season-ending injury just before the Virginia Tech game last year. Torn ACL on October 3rd. A year ago, Duke had one of the stranger seasons that they've had during Robbie Church's tenure. In their 10 ACC games, they only got true results in 4 of them. They had 3 wins, 1 loss, and 6 ties. By far the most ties they've had in conference play in Robbie Church's 19, now 20 years on the job. And some of those ties he was scoreless draws against top 10 teams. Others he was a little bit more disappointed in. But the fact remains, Duke was not a team that gave up a lot of last year. In fact, in their final 16 games of the 2019 season, Duke allowed multiple goals just 1 time. Interestingly, that was at Spry Stadium last September. And in that game, Wake scored 2, but Duke scored 3 to eke out the 1 goal with the Zhao header late, I believe in the 84th minute.
Other teams that put up 2 against Duke, North Carolina and Santa Clara. That was a thriller when Santa Clara took on Duke. It was also a thriller when Santa Clara came here and Wake Forest got the win.
And Wake Forest, if the world was a little more normal, was getting ready to go to the West Coast to start this season with a game out against Santa Clara. Obviously that did not happen. First shot for the Deeks, pounded down by Heinsohn.
Yeah, it was either you start off with Duke, Carolina Duke, or you go out west and you play Stanford and Claire. Pick your poison.
I believe Duke had a couple of SEC opponents, Florida and Arkansas, I believe, that were going to come to Chapel Hill for the Carolina Cup. But a different season here in 2020. And obviously a conversation for another time, but this is regular season game number 1. Obviously the schedule could fluctuate over the course of the season as a Deacon goes down in the box, but still stays silent. All these players on the field tonight, Ty, are not impacting their eligibility for future season one bit. This is considered a redshirt year for each and every student that doesn't impact their future eligibility. So all these freshmen will still be freshmen a year from now. And frankly, that means all the seniors could come back too if they don't have jobs to pursue or professional soccer to pursue, whatever it might be. Opportunity brewing here for Duke.
Yeah, they're stretching that field, the width of the field. Had Delaney Graham earlier run on the line. She kind of pinched in. This particular attack, they're moving out all the way to the touchline. Now the strategy for Wake Forest, they use the touchline as an extra defender. But right now, that's not when you're getting into the danger zone.
It'll be a goal kick for Madison Howard. Tony DeLuz had the interesting plan of trying to play 3 different goalkeepers tonight, expecting to see Madison Howard, Caitlin Parks, and potentially Mia Rabin too, presumably around 30 minutes apiece over the course of the game. And it seems like the coach for the Deacs is trying to figure out exactly who's going to claim that job. It's a pretty close competition right now.
Yeah, he could not commit to the goalkeeper who's going to start. He thought they were both or all competitive. Yeah, like you said, we thought it was going to be Caitlin Parks. It ends up not being Caitlin Parks. We'll see if maybe we'll see Mia Rabin and see if he uses this game as a way to figure out who he wants to be between the pipes.
By the way, I don't know if Tony looks older to you. He doesn't to me, but we should congratulate him. He's coaching his first ever game as a grandpa tonight. His grandson, Max, was born right around a month ago to son Austin, his wife Katie. Austin, a former Demon Deacon. So it's been obviously for everyone, it's been an interesting past 6 months. But for Tony DeLuz, some great news in the midst of building back up to the season. Enjoying life as a grandpa for the first time.
24th season on the sidelines for Wake Forest.
Made the NCAA tournament 19 of his first 23 seasons on the job, including 17 straight at one point.
This is very similar to the first goal they had last year, except Sophia Rossi doesn't quite have the wheels Ryan Brown did.
Excellent defense from Cosme. But the effort from Rossi will create a corner kick, and we'll see if Wake Forest can equal Duke's opening corner. 15 minutes gone here in the first half.
Wake Forest corner kick taken by number 26.
They try to play the short corner. You see Sophia Rossi right there. She has a good service ball, but I think they'll play the in-swinger and go near stick.
Albury did not give anyone in a gold jersey a chance. Well, in terms of inexperience, Ty, it didn't necessarily have to be like this, and it's certainly the circumstances of the time we're living that led to this. Hulda Arnesdotter and Madison Hammond and Estelle Laurier and all the top scorers from a year ago, many of them signing professional contracts, and obviously Wake Forest looking for young players to pick up that slack. They only have a few seniors right now. They expected to have 6 or 7 if everybody came back.
Yeah, and that was just made clear a couple of weeks ago. So
yes,
you talk about you're a coach planning for this season, and then you find out that your top players like Laurier and Artist daughter, as well as Vicky Krug, has just been unbelievable in the back line, are not back. It's just, I would hit panic mode, but of course, you know the type of character that Coach Toulouse has, always laid back. He felt like they can address and move on.
Yeah, he was very encouraging of his players to sign pro deals, just because at the time they had no idea what or if this season would occur.
He said he didn't blame him, and I don't blame him either. You never know. Everything's down in pencil when you're home, the European countries, and you have a chance to go pro. Go ahead and go pro. But I tell you, those are tough players to lose. It's a good sequence right here.
Opportunity brewing. It's DeMarco.
Yeah, DeMarco made that extra touch. Good defense, though, by Taylor Mitchell, able to kind of shield her off. But you'll see that touch get a little better. She's just so good at the ball. She just hit that a little bit earlier, but she knows it. She's just knocking off the rush. She's such a good player. That's why she has a captain armband.
Good pressure. Delaney Graham and Taylor Mitchell nearby to put some pressure on the shot. Wake Forest a year ago only got one ACC win. But goodness, the Deacs were plagued by narrow setbacks last year. They finished the regular season 6-8-4. 7 of those 8 losses by 1 goal. There were a lot of ifs. In the Deacon season in 2019.
You go back to the Notre Dame, the last game, the game winner was in the 109th minute in overtime. A late PK against Florida State. An overtime win against Pitt went in their favor, but then Virginia Tech 0-1. I mean, you just go down the list. It's so close. If you could just flip that, imagine where they would have been, how they would have done in the tournament.
And Tony thought you flip one of those results, you finish 500 with the type of schedule that they played, both conference and the ACC being as strong. The tournament, it was likely. Here's a turnover and a chance for Duke. Bodie had it knocked away. It'll be a Blue Devil throw-in.
Coach Toulouse is not going to like the fact that Mary Kate McGuire was right there in the middle with no gold honor.
Pascal to toss it in. In fact, she'll leave it off for Zhao, who's an incredible story in her own right.
Yeah, she's still the fastest. Out of that many injuries, and she's still one of the fastest on the team.
Corner kick here for Duke. Mia Zhao, really quickly. In August of 2017, she tore her ACL. In August of 2018, she tore her right Achilles tendon. In October of 2019, she tore her left Achilles tendon. And she's back with an inspirational work ethic. Cross, I think it found Cosme again, but not into the back of the net this time, and it will be a goal kick. No, they take the corner from the other side, excuse me. There's Mia.
One shot for Duke, Evan, and one shot is a goal.
Zhao played in 23 games as a freshman. She had an outstanding season. And then minimal opportunities to compete the last couple of years, last 3 years, in fact.
Well-driven ball. That had some pace behind it. Somebody to put a head on it.
And Ty, there's only 4 women's soccer conferences competing right now across the country, including the ACC. SEC, Big 12, and Sun Belt are the others. So there aren't really any preseason polls. It's hard to know who's top 25 and what. This Duke team has the makings of a real contender, and we don't know what type of NCAA championships might occur in the spring, but for an ACC title, look, Duke is 4th behind 3 great established programs in Carolina, Florida State, and Virginia. The Blue Devils have just as much experience as any team in the country. There's a look at the conferences that are playing. Big 12 gets underway tomorrow. SEC a week from tomorrow.
So all that talent, Evan, we were talking about the preseason poll with Carolina, of course, on top, and they lose good pieces from last year, but it's just they're always bringing in more. So of course they're going to be the #1 picked to win the conference again. But Duke, such a talented team, for them to be 4th it's hard to imagine. Virginia should be good, and Florida State, I know they lose their top scorer, but at 18-6, kind of a disappointment the way they finished their year with Castellanos, her senior campaign, but of course they'll be back.
Bodie chips it to Howard, who gobbles it up on the edge of the 6-yard box.
DeMarco just trying to create that center option there, move, and just Duke is just able to sniff out these pass paths.
Bodie moving into Ella Stevens. She had been the 7 for a couple of years, now moving into the 10 position. Attacking midfielder spot. The parlance of assigning numbers to positions is routine for everyone in soccer. Not so much for me, but I'm learning.
Ella Stevens is definitely a piece they're going to miss. You remember last year, the go-ahead goal early in that second. Ella Stevens, almost a no-look pass to Pluck, making a run with a through ball, and Pluck put it in, making it 2-1. Of course, Wake Forest tie it up, and then Duke would go ahead and get the winner.
Yeah. That's been this Duke team has found a way to win. Or last year they found a way to lose.
Right.
Because while the Blue Devils only won 3 ACC games last year in the regular season with 1 loss and 6 draws, Duke has only suffered 2 ACC regular season losses in the past 3 years. 1 last year, 1 in 2019, 1 in 2018, excuse me, and then they went 10-0, perfect season 2017, made the College Cup. 23-2 overall that year. Now, even though they're on the road at Spry Stadium with the uncertainty that lingers, bizarre and quirky times, Duke takes the field expecting to win wherever they are.
I would say so, especially with how many players they return and that talented lineup that is on display tonight, up 1-0.
Good ball down the left flank. Better defense, though.
Well-timed poke by the freshman, Brecken Monteith.
And she leaks in January. Tony DeLuce said she was working her way into the spring starting 11 before that season got kiboshed. Wake trying to generate some offense. DeMarco sends it to the outside, a good ball.
Force her to go to the right.
Ryan Brown touches to the middle. DeMarco unable to get any sauce on that shot toward the goal.
Yeah, she had Sophia Rossi to run the through pass, but Sophia Rossi and DeMarco kind of not on the same page, but we expect that, especially spring and very little practice, so that'll come with the game as it moves along.
You've spent a lot of time, Ty, over the past half decade for sure, talking to Tony DeLuce, and you have a real sense of his mentality. How do you feel how do you think he feels his team has responded to ceding that early goal?
I think they've done well. They dropped back to be a little bit more conservative. You know, with this 4-4-2, that's not usually his style, but the strength of that formation comes by those overlapping backs. And, you know, with those being as young as they are, I think they'll be a little reluctant to do that just because they're trying to get their sea legs. So right now they're being a little bit more conservative. They're not on the attack. He's using his vets to try to do the attack. We'll see if the freshmen finally get into the fracas.
Cosme, the goal scorer. Duke struck in the 7th minute on a corner kick. Their first shot of the game.
And another thing, Evan, with that 4-4-2, they rely on that trap. And the trap comes with communication. And that's going to have to build through time because how young they are.
And also the lack of healthy bodies that they've had these past few weeks. They've barely been able to run 11 on 11 in training.
Yeah, Tony was saying we still have yet to see them go 11v11. And now you're getting ready to take on Duke, who that when they played them last year was 10th in the country.
But no worries. You just have North Carolina on the road this coming week. Cosme takes her time.
And it's
a good ball. Bodie tried to slip it through.
A little too much, but had the right idea. Had Paschal as the target. She has the best shot on the team and the best service ball, but she's playing more pinching in, trying to get behind that defense. That's what Coach Robbie Church wanted to see from this team. Get behind the defense.
Howard makes the stop. If there's one thing that Tony DeLuz will be bothered by, it's the turnovers in this third of the field. Wake's given it away a couple times, dodging a bullet there.
Yeah, and Madison Howard did good. She blocked it first, but was able to from spilling out. And usually you would see a freshman who's just got on the pitch for 30-some minutes might spill that out, but Madison had some complete confidence there, was able to gobble back up.
Again, Duke takes over possession on this side of the field. Jow plays it back. Plenty of time and additional support with Mitchell. Blue Devils, 6 seniors and 4 juniors in the starting 11. Sophie Jones, considered one of the best players in the country, lone lower classman. She's a sophomore.
See how easy that turn was for her, and she's even got a brace on. She does this in her sleep. She's got this muscle memory.
Cosme looking down the flank, deflected toward the middle, and Duke maintaining pressure here. Bodie, a little 1-2, she goes down, and we play on.
Quick it up the field, wanted that option, has to make that pass quicker, but I don't think she had somebody making a run to the ball. Wake Forest will try the flank again.
Blue Devils with a slew of substitutions set to enter the next opportunity. And on the Wake Forest bench, we may see a goalkeeping change pretty soon because we're into the 31st minute here.
Teeth, I think she wanted to go a little farther than that, but I like what I'm seeing by the freshman there, making that run down the sideline, trying to put a long ball, because the 2 goals that Wake Forest scored last year, getting behind that back line, was all started with a long ball.
Without the leading scorers from a year ago, Ty, who are the Deacons that you expect to step up and score more in 2020?
I think, right, as soon as you say who you want to step up, it has to go Ryan Brown. she'll be employed in that.
Delaney Graham's cross hits the hand of a Deke, and the official waves his arms. And Wake Forest gets very lucky there.
Yeah, Evan, he's saying that it hit the thigh, but that was awfully close. Getting to who you think should be the scorer, I think it should be Ryan Brown. She's going to be playing up top. She only got 3 goals last year. I know she's hungry. She wants more, but I think that's who Tony DeLuz is going to rely on for someone to generate goals. With DeMarco and Rossi as the distributors in the center mid spots, I think anything could happen, and Ryan Brown can really get behind the back line.
It's the first save for Madison Howard, and the two teams are going to head to the benches for a hydration break. If the temperature is equal or greater to 86 degrees as measured by a wet bulb globe thermometer, which factors in things like wind and humidity and other aspects of science that we don't understand. They'll take a break right around the 25-30 minute mark, in this case about 32nd minute, and we'll see that again in the second. That gives us a chance to kind of catch our breaths and evaluate what we've seen. And you know, for Wake Forest, talking about the early departures, it's hard to say these things caught Tony DeLuz off guard, because everyone's been caught off guard by what we're dealing with in 2020. But Arnersdottir, Laurier, and Krug no longer in the old gold and black, signing professional contracts in between last season and today.
Laurier was so dangerous on the outside. She provided so great goals for Coach DeLuz. Also got that big win versus Boston College that gave him his 300th win. So, you know, Arnersdottir also gone. That was somebody that was the target up top. She just had a way about her, was able to play with her back to the goal. And not only could she put in, she could also distribute. She could create a lot of things. She got that goal last year, the goal number 2, that they put a long ball, and she got right in between 2 defenders, pull it back and score, which how you score that goal is through skill, and that's what she has.
Wake Forest, a very different looking team with a couple of those talented players in the lineup. Here comes Mia Rabin. She's the veteran goalkeeper of the trio. Third-year sophomore, whose brother Sam obviously played soccer at Wake Forest. Her sister Lizzie, of course, played for Robbie Church at Duke 2013 to 2017. So Wake Forest versus Duke is always a huge game in the Rabin household. Mia, a year ago, was one of 3 goalkeepers that saw time. Last year it was Megan Kennedy, who played about half the minutes, and then Matt Carmichael and Mia Rabin each played about 25% of the minutes. Any thoughts on how style differs at all from what you've seen from Howard in 32 minutes?
32 minutes. I think I know it's hard to say, but she'll bring some experience. She comes from a soccer family. She's pretty good, definitely in the air. She'll attack those crosses, so I look for that here, time that she'll be in the net for Coach DeLuz. And they're going to need that, because the way that Duke is using those outside flanks and putting those balls through.
Well, Shayla Smart has entered for Wake Forest, the junior from Apopka, Florida. And for Duke, Grace Watkins, Olivia Migley, Emily Roy, and Lily Nabet all seeing their first action of the season. There's Shayla. Had a knee injury after a promising start. In training, Tony DeLuz told us last week, but we're hopeful to have her for the Duke game, and here she is. She's someone who could score a little bit too. She scored 68 goals in 4 years at Montverde Academy in high school.
Yeah, we just haven't seen Shayla Smart because of those injuries, so I know she's happy to be on the pitch. As a junior, I know DeLuz is happy to have her.
Only 2 games the last 2 seasons for Shayla Smart.
And of those 2 games, of course, she had that 1 goal. But a part of that Jamaica U17 and the U20 national team. So that's somebody you want on the pitch.
Hey, is it just me? Like Tony's been hitting the weights a little bit. His biceps.
You know, I think he had some time to hit the weights a little bit.
Maybe it's just the shirt, but
he wanted to show off his biceps a little bit today. So he said he had so much time, he kept track of all the things he was watching with Netflix and Amazon Prime. Oh, good ball here with DeMarco.
G. DeMarco to the outside. Well defended, but a better play to get the ball back. Ryan Brown took it. Could not create anything substantial.
I don't know if Ryan expected G. DeMarco to kind of backpedal, allowing an option for a shot outside of the 18. But once again, on that attack, we're seeing communication not quite there as expected. That'll come, though.
Wake Forest living dangerously here with some of these passes. Defensive third of the field. Duke doing a nice job putting on the pressure.
Look at Faircloth with a turn.
Yeah, that was well done.
Another good turn for Shayla, too. Getting right into the middle, switching fields. That's what you want. And overlapping runs, what you see right here with Monteith.
Brown hits the freshman back. Defended well. Delaney Graham there for Duke defensively. Closing in on 10 minutes to play in half number 1 of this abbreviated 2020 season. 8 conference games on the schedule. And that was not necessarily a given a couple weeks ago. Right. There was initially a schedule with 6 games. They've had 4 different versions of the possible schedule. Both Tony DeLuz and Robbie Church were very grateful to their athletic directors and other athletic administrators for getting them an 8-game conference schedule with some flexibility, recognizing the hardship that all athletic departments are dealing with in 2020.
And may I add that they're doing an outstanding job by the keeping people protected during this COVID-19 pandemic. Everything is locked down. The testing, the mask use, the social distances.
Mackenzie Pluck chips it to the good defense, and Raven is there.
I mean, it is seriously locked down. Evan, that's why we're here in the studio, not at the field.
I believe all ACC athletes are getting tested at least 3 times a week, and Duke going to daily testing as Brown trying to create an equalizer. Smart had a step.
Yes, she did, and Ryan Brown saw her. That's exactly where she wanted to go. Draw the defenders, then poke the through ball through. Just couldn't get it there. Shayla, I think, was on the same page. That's where she wanted to go. But after that corner kick, Evan, that corner kick that resulted in the far stick to make it 1-0, Wake Forest has kind of calmed this down. And you're seeing some attacks come close, maybe resulting in a goal and an equalizer, which is impressive.
Could this be it right here? Smart shot! Finds the net!
There she is, Ryan Brown. The one we said needs to step up and score. She got the nod up top, and the first goal of the season goes to number 21, Ryan Brown.
4th goal of Brown's career, and her 48th game as a Deacon. Ties it up.
Look at Rossi. What a great center mid will do. Get the immediately look up and push it forward. Moved it ahead to Ryan Brown. Wanted to go right down the middle line, go 1v1 with the keeper. She's going to win every time.
Rossi picks up the assist. Brown scores to tie this thing in the 38th minute, beating Heinsohn low. And a bit of a defensive breakdown that you feel Robbie Church won't be pleased about, but Brown takes advantage.
You know, I don't think Ryan Brown would have much difficulty in that situation 1v1, but the scouting report would suggest, Evan, that if you want to go against Heinsohn, you want to low. She's not that great on the ground. She's good in the air. Not as good on the ground like Ruthie Jones. Ryan Brown made the equalizer, and we got a brand new ball game. It was 7 minutes left to go in the first 45.
Lauren Tangney and Olivia Stoll just checked in. Emmy in for Duke.
That's a great story, too. Someone who grew up a Devils fan and now wears the Devil and puts up a lot of good stats for Coach Robbie Church.
Talking about Dirk.
Right, yeah. She had 2 goals this last year. Her first career start was actually last year against Wake Forest.
This will be a Wake Forest throw.
But you someone like Faircloth, who grew up coming to these Wake Forest games,
sure.
And someone like Drewer, who, Duke is, it's branded in their DNA, and now they get to put on the jersey. That to me is amazing.
It's rare that when soccer seasons, I've been spending so much time watching the NBA playoffs. In my mind, I was counting off the 5-second count on that inbound pass. Obviously, that doesn't exist. But you think about the circumstances, Ty. I mean, 6 months ago, everything shuts down. And here tonight, there's an NBA playoff game. There's an NHL playoff game. There's a dozen Major League Baseball games. The NFL starts tonight. There's an ACC college football game. U.S. Open women's tennis semifinals. There's so much going on right now, and obviously ACC soccer returns tonight. It's exciting. It's a little overwhelming, quite frankly, with everything that's going on.
Durr gets into the lineup, and 1 minute in, she at least tries a shot. Not really on frame, but she's not shy. She will take shots. And she's actually was childhood teammates with Lyndon, who obviously will be part of this Wake Forest team.
Rabin is there to scoop up the deflection.
So the scoreboard for the Ravens is 2-1 Wake Forest.
In terms of siblings attending each
exactly.
school, correct.
Yes. Sam was such a remarkable player, watching him here at Wake Forest. Such a leader, too.
Izzy had a strong career at Duke. The Ravens were regulars making trips to North Carolina during these times, guessing they're back home in Colorado, tuned in tonight. And we were wondering, Ty, obviously no fans out in the stands, but you see a few people up on the hill. They appear to be socially distanced. That's always been a nice organic to cheer for soccer, the Walt Chisowich Alumni Hill as it has been dedicated. And you see some folks masked up enjoying ACC soccer on this late summer night.
Yeah, that is the staple to Wake Forest soccer, the Hill. I can recall many times on the Hill growing up here in Winston-Salem. It just has an inviting aura, Come on by the Hill. Watch some soccer.
You have a number one memory on the Hill?
Yeah, I'd probably have to go back to their many bouts with Virginia. I can't really get one match, but...
there, you could see that Bedford wanted Rabin to come and get it.
Yes.
And then Bedford took the brunt of the contact, and hopefully she's all right.
That's what you want, though, as a center defender. She basically shields the ball, tells Rabin to come up for it. Now, watch, kind of stays at her feet, so Rabin's kind of curious to see what she wants to do, but she just wants to shield that away from Grace Watkins from able to. Good job by Bedford. And just got pushed into the keeper. That's the only dangerous part about it.
It looked like Rabin got a Bedford's knee right to the skull. Playing it right across the goal mouth there. My Pee Wee soccer coach told me never to pass it right in front of the goal.
No. The keepers will remember that, and they will yell at you later if you're on the field at that time.
Under 2 minutes here in the first half. The return of ACC athletics.
But you know, Evan, nowadays, how keepers are, they're so athletically gifted. And I'm not saying that they weren't back in the day, but now they're basically field players, the way that they have so much skill with their feet. So essentially, you're bringing in almost another defender to use their feet. That's pretty much what you expect. You'll see a lot of these goalkeepers. And for the formation that Duke's going to use, that is key to how they move the attack from the back to the front. Quick reset. Going to try to get Wake Forest napping. Quickly get it upfield. Watch Hannah Bedford try to move it.
She was an attacking player early in her career. Very talented offensive player. Could Wake Forest take the lead in the waning of the half? Unable to connect on that pass, and more time ticks away.
Just off the reach of Ryan Brown's boot.
Coming up at halftime, we'll down some quarantine hobbies for players from each side.
Here we go. Let's see if something happens here. Corner kick. See if they quickly reset. I want to see quicker corners for me personally. With 20 seconds left, I'll quickly put the ball into play.
What would it mean for Wake to get a go-ahead goal here in the last 10 seconds of the half? And for the second time, Albury's cross hits short. And time is whittling down, and Wake is not going to get it off.
It just doesn't seem to be on the same page there. They're looking to go to the near stick, but there's nothing in New Jersey, so I don't know where the disconnect is. But hey, we're 1-1.
Cosme in the 7th minute. Brown, 38th minute. Ryan Brown, the reason we are even at 1 after 45 minutes. It's great to have ACC athletics back.
Former player for Duluth, who's handling the best she can as the assistant coach, the only assistant coach with Coach Duluth.
I like the different fashion statements we're seeing with the masks. I mean, Tony, the very understated black mask with the WF. Courtney, the bolder deacon head gray mask, and over on the other side, we're seeing Duke with the sporting, the Duke blue. Chance to make a fashion statement with the mask in 2020. All right, 45 minutes of soccer. This is an exhibition game. I know it was listed as such in some publications, but this is regular season game number 1. Evan Lepler, Ty Collins, just grateful to be part of it. As ACC sports return today, the first ACC athletic competitions in 183 days since that second day of the ACC men's tournament. And if you remember, I mean, that night, Syracuse clobbered North Carolina, Greensboro Coliseum. There's the nugget, 81-53. It was a good night for Jim Boeheim's Orange, not so much for Roy Williams' Tar Heels. And but that was the Rudy Gobert night when the Utah Jazz Center was diagnosed with COVID, and it was kind of that domino effect of one basketball tournament after another canceling.
Yeah.
And the NCAA tournament, which had announced that night that there would be no fans, then had to pull the plug as well. And it was just unbelievably shocking circumstances. Here's a cross in front, and the Blue Devils have taken the lead. Tess Bodie with a powerful finish.
I know that's what Coach Robbie Church wanted to get through to his team right away, coming on the second 45. Let's destroy any kind of confidence Wake is getting from that first 45, and let's get an early goal. And that's what they did right there.
This was an easy finish for Bodie. Nicely set up. Mackenzie Pluck sending it forward. And then Mary Kate McGuire a touch. And Bodie does the rest.
Mary Kate McGuire loves scoring. I wonder if she had to bite down hard to just give the assist, but she'll take the point. And Duke will take the goal, 2-1 now.
Last year, McGuire, 9 goals, 3 assists. Picks up her first assist of 20 right here in the 47th minute. Pluck also picks up an assist as well.
Evan looking back, last year it was the 9th minute. Pluck from Stevens to make the go-ahead goal.
Well, last year, Wake equalizer. Arner's daughter tied it up in the 81st minute before Zhao won it a few minutes later. But here Duke looking to
tack on here with this set piece.
Indeed.
Let's see how Wake Forest defends this. This hurt him last year, it hurt him tonight.
Pascal dangerous from distance. And didn't get the air under that one she was looking for off Bodie's side. And a goal kick for Mia, the second of 3 Wake Forest goalkeepers that we expect to see tonight.
Faircloth starts again on the outside. And that's not where you want to lose the ball.
I mean, look at the pressure here. She was all by herself, surrounded by 3 jerseys, 10 yards from her own goal line.
And Duke is not letting off on that press.
Zhao will toss it in. Dangerously lingering in the box. Away. Zhao under pressure. Nice job maintaining possession for Simmons.
Good long ball.
And the aviator expert throws it into the box, and Wake fortunate that Duke doesn't tack on another one there.
And Raven kind of let that spill out. You won't see it happen a lot from her. She'll be able to gobble that up. Might have lost it in the lights since the first time they've been back in how many some days, 300 and some days.
Wake Forest will have a free kick. Duke Blue Devils uncertain of what the postseason will be beyond the ACC tournament and carry. This is a Duke program that's been to 16 NCAA tournaments in the past 17 years. College Cup finalist in 2011, semifinalist in 2017. And a very experienced roster. And the other thing about Duke this year, it feels like they're healthier than they've been. And yes, it's
way early. Yes.
It's very early.
Yeah, when you just go into a season like this season, or the altered season that we're going into this year, with the vets they have, the starters they return. I mean, if you're Coach Church, you got to be happy that you are playing and happy to see these girls come out there and play, because I know they wanted to get there and show them what they got after probably somewhat of a disappointing year last year.
So 5-on-4 brewing here for Duke.
Good turn, quick shot. Maybe want to get that a little quicker. Ball kind of got away from her, but fundamental soccer here. Ball turned to the goal. Quick turn and then take a shot. Let's see this again. Beautiful play by Delaney Graham. Quick turn and just a little heavy touch, but that's where she was going to go.
What did Robbie Church tell us, Ty? He said Mary Kate McGuire scored 9 goals last year and really could have scored 20.
She has a knack for scoring. The way she's able to be in the right place at the right time. And Robbie Church actually said that her first touch has improved from last year.
Sure did.
She's not shy to take a shot either. Had 52 shots on the season last year. And that equalizer last year, she kind of threw up her boot, but that great goal scorers do. They're able to just
long range.
deflect it.
Sophie Jones had her shot blocked.
DeMarco, so good in the middle as the quarterback.
Good
you
ball.
want to call it.
Wake Forest onside. McIntyre's cross, nobody home. And it ricochets back out, and a chance. Wake Forest trying to maintain possession to this end of the field. 38 minutes remaining, second half. Duke in front 2-1 on Tess Bodie's 47th minute strike. The pass from McGuire and Pluck earning assists.
See how Duke can build from the back, move the attack. A very dangerous ball there by Sophie Jones. Almost created a turnover for Wake Forest.
How about that touch?
It's a world-class touch.
Long range shot, skids wide.
It's almost as if she's trying to find somebody to play it to, and she says, all right, I'll do it myself. Give it a run.
Mitchell intercepts. Pretty good perseverance there by McIntyre, the freshman from Virginia. She's also another 17-year-old in her collegiate debut tonight. She'll turn 18 on Monday.
I know I spoke about this earlier, but I do want to see what Carrie McIntyre can do. As a freshman, she came in touted, probably their best recruit of this 2020 class. She can finish. She came from Battlefield High School, which had so many players that went to D1. One of them was Tori Powell, who's now at Virginia Tech.
That ball just lingering on the edge of the box.
And another alum of Battlefield High School is Olivia Migley, who's on Duke, a freshman out of Haymarket, Virginia.
A very good friend. Her and McIntyre played club soccer together. Were training together pretty much all summer before returning to their respective campuses.
That you train together and say that finally find out that you're going to have a season and it's going to be versus each other.
Very first game, 2 of your first 3 games. Duke in front, great defense tonight. McGuire there.
McGuire just trying to turn and get a good look to put the left foot on it. Wake Forest was good defensively. Monteith able just to get in the way to stop it. Puts her right foot out just to deflect it and get it arm's way.
I'll say this, Brecken Monteith is a freshman in her first college soccer game, not playing scared at all.
I think we expected that coming in, right? Just the way that Coach DeLuz described her as a player. She's just ready to go every game. And she has that warrior mentality. She thought that DeLuz actually thought she was going to make her way to the starting lineup with the spring of the practices that they did have. Now, of course, they stopped it. But of the small summer sessions they had, she makes a starting 11.
I know Tony DeLuz has used that phrase, warrior mentality, to characterize some of his new players. I hear it, think of Virginia football, having covered the Wahoos. It's a term Bronco Mendenhall has used to characterize his players at times. You got to have a warrior mentality.
He did. What a great season they had last year. Unexpected, but a good hire by Virginia to lead Cavaliers.
Here comes Mia Zhao. Chip toward Raven and beyond the far post.
I know Mia Zhao was a little discouraged, or this would be an understatement. When you're making that run right there, you're expecting to see runs right away. That wasn't developing. So the last option you want to do is play your support. Of course, she had to. I'm making this run. Please somebody run near stick. Please somebody run far stick.
It was deflected, of course, so Mackenzie Pluck lining up the 6th Duke corner kick of the night. They scored on the first one, and it was Cosme's header that did it. This time, Cosme denied by Mia Rabin.
He is the target on these corners, and she's second time. First one header in, this one had good contact, but couldn't get past the line for goal number 3 for the Duke Blue Devils.
Blue Devils maintaining the pressure.
Nice job by Pluck. That play creative, kind of draw the defender to jump at it, then scoop it and move it down the line. Unfortunately, she ran out of real estate. So the replay, last chance for Duke on that corner kick. Now Duke pushes their line all the way up to the midway line.
Mitchell's blast all the way in a grasp.
Relentless pressure. Let's see how they'll back away from the press a little bit. A turnover that's going to drive Coach to lose nuts.
Simmons had it taken away.
Good ball. Well made, well timed. 1v1.
McIntyre ties it.
Sorry, Evan, I got a little carried away.
No apologies necessary. Carrie McIntyre, 4 days shy of her 18th birthday.
Freshman, the high recruit coming in. I was so thrilled to see her in the starting 11. Wake Forest needs someone that go ahead, get to the back of the net type of mentality in the striker position. Ryan Brown gets the first goal, and the second forward, Carrie McIntyre, gets number 2.
Ty, where have we seen this movie before with Wake Forest and Duke?
It's very similar.
Carrie McIntyre, the freshman from Battlefield High School, we're just talking about it. Gets Duke on a breakaway. Beats Heinz again.
And Evan, it's almost the same storyline as far as even by minute.
Yeah, not far off.
49th minute last year, Pluck. Here we saw Pluck in the second half be the distributor to cause the goal. Arnestadter tied it up at the similar minute mark. This time it's Carrie McIntyre that does it. What is it about Duke and Wake that just caused?
It's a good question, and I'm not sure Tony DeLuz and Robbie Church could answer it. McIntyre again is wide open. Has some help. Wake Forest takes the lead.
Goodness gracious.
Sophia Rossi puts Wake Forest ahead 3-2.
Sophia Rossi, usually the distributor, was inside the box. I couldn't see so many blue jerseys. She just had enough opening to put it near stick and get past Heinsohn.
McIntyre with a goal and an assist in a 62-second span as Wake Forest goes from 1 down to 1 up at the 2/3 pole of this contest.
Here we are, just minutes ago, Evan, we were talking about how Duke's pushing out their line all the way up. It's like they're in complete control. Wake Forest all of a sudden turns the game on its head.
In fact, Ty, those goals officially coming 60 seconds apart. McIntyre the goal, and then Rossi scores from McIntyre, and all of a sudden, the Deeks are playing with a lead, and that's a handball on Duke.
Quick reset, quit. Usually you want to get a quick reset because they had some numbers, but Wake Forest will let it sit a little bit in the position. Just still astonished by Sophia Rossi's goal. There's a pick that's, don't want to let Sophia Jones near you because she will let you pay. She will make you pay. But going back to Sophia Rossi, she's got such good hips, able to turn and move and cause defenders to bite, just to create enough space for her to take a shot with that left foot.
A season ago, Wake Forest scored more than 2 goals in 2 of their final 14 games. The Deacons were not an offensive juggernaut by any means in 2019, but 3 goals so far tonight.
Good service ball. Better play defensively to head it out.
Duke scored very quickly in each half. The 7th minute of the first half, the 3rd minute of the second half.
Nice give and go. Sophia Jones on the same page, little 1-2 there.
So far, Rossi is the difference maker.
Going with a long ball here again.
That, by the way, was the first goal for Sophia Rossi since 2017. She scored 3 goals 3 years ago. Gobbled up Rabin.
2018, she didn't play, but she came in highly touted Ohio State, or had the girls soccer Gator Player of the Year in the state of Ohio. All-American as well.
Ooh, that's a turnover there, and an opportunity. Blue Devils denied by Rabin.
Yeah, Tess Bodie wanted to try to chip over Parks.
Yeah, beg your pardon. Caitlin Parks has entered in the net for the Deeks. So she'll try to Mariano Rivera this thing and close it out. It's a redshirt freshman. Tony DeLuce said she probably would have started last year if she didn't separate her shoulder, requiring surgery in the preseason.
That's black. I've been using the Mariano reference since you're a Sox fan, just like me. I won't tell anybody.
Ryan Brown scored the first goal of the day for Wake. Crosses this one to McIntyre, who touches it back looking for Rossi. And all of a sudden, Wake's generate chances.
Yeah, Carrie McIntyre, another good idea from the freshman. Too far in front, but she was able to keep it in bounds. First thing you want to do is play it right kind of near the 6. That's what she did.
And Trey, for the for the first 50 minutes of this game, opportunities to score were few and far between for Wake, and all of a sudden it's a an avalanche of opportunity.
It was tough to find and create some kind of shot in the first half, and like you said, when we saw that corner kick and the header go in, we thought this could be trouble.
First game of the year, you see the general exhaustion around the field, and athletic trainer out to check on Duke's Mackenzie Pluck. We are on track for another hydration timeout. However, I don't think this is it quite yet.
Man, today was overcast, had some rain, and then seems right on cue when
warmed up.
Yep. Right when it had the idea that soccer was going to be played, the skies opened up, the sun decided to shine.
Yeah, and it seems like this was a good time to officially take the hydration.
Number 10, Olivia Migley.
I do like Coach Church's mask as well. Matches the color of his team's jerseys exactly.
It's very blue.
I like blue.
Yeah, that's right.
Imani Dorsey, Kayla McCoy, Rebecca Morose, and Morgan Reed, 4 of the many great players that Robbie Church has mentored in his time in Durham, now playing in the NWSL.
Yeah, both of these teams put pros. They make pros. They put them into the pros. Force has done their fair share. Tony's pros are Bailey Feist with Washington, Aubrey Bledsoe also with Washington. Peyton Perea just got signed by the Courage. Katie Stingle, Evan, you saw her. She was amazing. Could just score goals anywhere on the field.
She's the best pure scorer I ever remember seeing in a Wake uniform, and takes us back, close to 20 years.
She's a Houston Madison Hammond with OL Reign, and then Allie Heron actually signed with Orlando. And one player that I'll have to mention, Maddie Huster, who was on the roster for Washington back in 2018 with her sister.
It's certainly far too soon to compare any one of these new Wake Forest freshmen to Stengel. But the thing I remember about Katie is early in her career, she didn't look like a freshman. And it almost felt like you expected her to score every time she took the field. She was a really special player for Tony to lose.
And a cannon of a leg. She would, as soon as she would turn on the ball and put a shot in, it was going to have some pace behind it.
Duke in search of the equalizer. McGuire blocked. Out shooting Wake 15-5. And yet the Deacons with a slim 3-2 lead where it counts. 24 minutes to try to keep Duke from scoring again. I have to imagine, Ty, that getting a result against this Duke team that has only lost 2 ACC regular season games in the last 3 years in conference play would be a monumental confidence builder for the young Demon Deacons. Now, there's a long way to go. And also, this technically isn't a conference game, despite the fact that these two teams have always been conference rivals. This is a non-conference matchup before they meet in a conference game in a week and a half. Goal kick.
Once again, headed by Cosme. And I don't think she showed herself in that corner kick as the target. It just kind of went up and under, and just because she has a knack for knowing where the ball is, she put herself in position to at least put a head on it. But yes, Evan, I think looking at the score right now, the way things have developed for Coach to losing his players, not having 11v11 inter-squad scrimmage due to the player personnel. I mean, 3-2 to this Duke team is already a win in itself, and I know he will be mad that I say that, but it just, to me, confidence-wise, if you're part of this Wake Forest team. This really pushes you up as a team, and it will develop chemistry quickly because of that confidence.
Past the midway point of the second half, into the fourth quarter of this 90-minute match.
You know, going back to that Kerry McIntyre goal where I kind of lost track of where I was, but it was tough for me. I don't know for you, Evan, but I know with the crowd not being there, you're expecting some kind of reaction, and you weren't getting that. Maybe the flag was up. That's something we will have to adapt to.
Authoritative finish by McIntyre, and then less than a minute later, she has another chance. Dishes off to Rossi, who beats Heinsohn again.
And going back to Arnesdotter's goal last year, where she was kind of wedged between two defenders, very similar to what Rossi did, and just a magic touch to push it away and put a hit on and get a goal. And right now, that so far is the game winner if this score stands.
Thing is, Ty, as we noticed right there, without the crowd, we should always hear the whistles.
That's true.
There we saw Wake Forest calling for the offside, and we clearly heard the whistles.
I like the natural sound of the whistle, electronic whistle.
Yeah, it was interesting seeing in college football electronic whistles being used where referees and officials would literally push a button to make the whistle sound. Duke looking for the equalizer. Could this be it? Just over the bar. A missile from, I believe, McGuire. I beg your pardon. It was Bodie.
Oh, that was really, really close. Good skill, too, by Bodie to able to trap that is the way the ball hopped like that. Wake Forest able to keep Duke from tying it as we now creep below 20 minutes left to go. I expect, and you'll see it there, is taking their time in the throw-in. Just try to milk the clock.
Wake Forest and Duke meeting for the 32nd time in women's soccer. There have been many great battles through the years. Two proud programs, both who have been to the College Cup over the past decade. Perennial ACC contenders meeting in usual non-conference situation. And two teams, frankly, that pride themselves on their defense. But each of the past two meetings between Wake and Duke has been a 3-2 finish.
That's right.
Each of the last 2 years, Duke victorious. 5 goals and counting again between the Deacs and the Devils.
2018, Duke seemed to be in great position, up 2-0, almost to the point where, okay, we'll let this go. Duke will take advantage. It'll be over. But Wake Forest runs right through, and they tie it up right away. But look at that play by Kerry McIntyre, the freshman.
With the left foot.
Tangney with that assist.
And then exactly a minute later, McIntyre to Rossi. A nice little dribble there, subtle, effective, finding space and beating Heinsohn to the near post.
Great display of skill, and not surprised just the way that Sophia Rossi is able to handle the rock. She is so good. That's why she plays center mid.
Duke in the 7th, Wake in the 38th. We were tied 1-1 at the half. Bodie, very early second half, puts Duke in front 2-1, but then In the 60th and 61st minutes, McIntyre and Rossi changed the game considerably.
Hey, here you are with Duke. You come into the second half, tied 1-1. Your immediate goal is to get an early goal. And that's what they did. They put an early goal to try to set the tone in the second half. And we thought we saw it. We thought that Duke was in command, pushing up the back line. They were holding possession. But Wake Forest, I don't know what they did, but they were able to knock down 2 goals within 60 seconds of each other with McIntyre and Rossi. And now you see Duke's kind of rattled.
Delaney Graham shaken up, preseason all-conference left back for Robbie Church. You know, Kerry McIntyre for Wake Forest turning 18 on Monday. Delaney Graham will turn 21 on Monday. They were born 3 years apart. Exactly. Under 19 minutes we go.
Her sister, part of that class this year. Totally different than Delaney. Maggie's more of a technical type player. Delaney's like, I'm going to run you down type player.
Third set of sisters to play for Duke at the same time. Delaney and Maggie Graham. Duke trying to get the cross off, but Wake Forest not making it easy. I think Zhao has moved over to the left side. There's a pretty good cross. Loose in front for a moment, but Parks pounces.
Good job by Parks. You know, she couldn't quite handle it, but immediately lay down on top of it to smother it.
Thought it was interesting, Caitlin Parks' background, that in high school, she was a long jumper, she was a high jumper, and she also did the triple jump. So the athleticism kind of speaks for itself when it comes to those 3 events. And all attributes that you'd want from a goalkeeper.
Yes. And the wingspan that she has, I think, is nice to have too. She makes herself bigger in the net.
Wake Forest better know where Caitlin Cosme is right here. That's who Duke has targeted nearly every corner kick tonight. The 8th Duke corner never came in bounds.
That's how you want to defend those corners. Just let it go out of bounds.
Telepathically.
Yeah, that's right.
Force an errant kick. I mean, they had a lot of Zoom conversations over the past 6 months, and presumably telepathy was they went over to bolster the defensive game plan a little bit.
Zoom was the tool for both of these teams. They were able to have these meetings, do scouting reports, and even Wake Forest had their proud alum chat with their team. Aubrey Bledsoe chatted with the team to kind of lift up their spirits. Nice thing to have.
Ty, had you ever been on a Zoom call prior to March of this year?
I did for certain podcasts, because that was used as our only way to do kind of phoners, but I had no idea it was going to explode like it did during the quarantine session.
Way out of her goal, Parks sends the sideline.
If you ask somebody, hey, do you want to Zoom? You'll be like, what are you talking about? Now, it's everybody's vernacular.
Common parlance. Substitutions for both teams. You see Wake Forest, Shayla Smart impacted the game in the first half when she entered, and the flag goes up there.
Good trap there. That's tough, especially when you're kind of pinched close to the byline as Duke was attacking third.
Other subs in that last sequence, Ashley Frank in for Lyndon Wood, and Mackenzie Pluck, a dangerous goal scorer, returns for Duke, in Carly Pascal.
And Ashley Frank will bring quickness, speed to this Wake Forest lineup. She's very athletic. In fact, she played flag football for her high school. I consider her, as I said before, a scat bat of a Christian McCaffrey type player.
High praise.
Yeah.
"75 minutes gone, just over 14 minutes to go, and that is going to be a free kick just outside the box."
I'd like to see that closer spot, but was just outside 18. But the way the set pieces have gone against Wake Forest, it'll be a yellow card to Bedford. But not the ideal spot. You're going to give Duke a free kick.
Doesn't look like Hannah completely agreed with the decision to bestow the game's first yellow card in that spot. 14-14 to play. And a key situation right here.
And going up against the freshman Caitlin Parks, the redshirt freshman. Let's see how she responds to this free kick. Just a hair outside of the 18.
21-22 yards away. Cosme and Bodie near the free kick.
And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they played it short to Sophia Jones and she plays it right back and they take a strike.
Cosme hits the post, and that stays in bounds for a while until it rolls out. Goal kick for the Deeks.
Well struck too by Cosme, trying to curl it and sneak behind that stick, but luckily it hit the work and it goes out of bounds. Luckily if you're Wake Forest.
Deacons looking for a little insurance policy here. Leading 3-2 into the latter stages of the second half, and Heinzen will have the goal kick now.
Yeah, Ryan Brown kind of scuffed it there, made her patented move. She kind of hop step. Look at that. Just about maybe an inch, 2 inches away from.
Gotta say, Parks didn't look too concerned there. That ball was gonna bounce off the woodwork into the back of the net. Very casual watching that ball roll away.
Very good vision. She knew right away that wasn't going to get in the back of the net. Ryan Brown was surrounded right there. How dangerous she is on the outside.
Brown's had an impressive night. Delaney Graham's back in. That's good news for Duke. And
yeah, surprised that wasn't called.
Yeah, me too.
The referee will let them play.
I don't know about you, but I'm definitely sensing a bit of a sense of urgency from Duke. I mean, they haven't lost very much the past few seasons, and yet the Deacon defense has stymied them since Bodie put the Blue Devils ahead 2-1 in the 47th minute, very early in the second half.
And right there, what caused that particular attack, Bedford, you will not see her do this a lot, but she tried to play it out of bounds and it didn't go out of bounds. And Duke immediately took advantage of, moved it up the field, and at least had a chance inside the box. Wake Forest is going to have to be crisper on that if they want to keep this a 3-2 game.
Mackenzie Pluck, her corner kick headed away. Served back into the area, out of the reach of Taylor Mitchell making a run.
An attack now building up to 7 players for Duke, pushing up. But like we saw earlier, when they pushed up, Wake Forest spotted it, and Carrie McIntyre got behind the defensive line and put a goal through.
You notice what Taylor Mitchell did right there? I mean, she went and sprinted to go get the ball and put it on the spot for the keeper as if there was 1 minute and 4 seconds to go in the game instead of 11 minutes and 4 seconds to go in the game. I mean, Duke is a little flustered right now, just in the way that hyper in terms of their pursuit of an equalizer. Parks, precarious, but able to get it out of danger for the moment.
Yeah, I think right away sees that Wake Forest wants to slow the game down, wants to try to bleed the clock. They know they can score. They're not at all satisfied. Obviously, you wouldn't be down 3-2. They expect this game to be at least 5 goals on the tally, and they're stuck at 2. So they want to quickly keep this in play and keep the pressure and move it into the attacking third, like we've seen a lot so far in the last 5 minutes.
Robbie Church with 10 more minutes on the clock. One of the other interesting dynamics in 2020, Ty, aside from the fact that the whole season could get blown up any day and schedules could change and who knows what could happen. In ACC, teams typically play tough non-conference schedules, but ACC teams are typically successful in non-conference schedules.
Frank's going to get a yellow card. I'm not sure what exactly happened there.
Bewildered look right there. But the point I'm getting to is there is no non-conference schedule by and large to get a break from the ACC grind. Frank's a little bit late.
Late, I don't know if you'd say reckless, but just late on the tackle. That's going to be called 9 times out of 10. But yes, I see your point, Evan. Wake Forest, along with other ACC teams, have done so well in the non-conference part. I was surprised to see that not that many teams did make the College Cup this year.
Yellow
on the women's
card
side.
On Ashley Frank, second yellow of the second half. And Duke sends it high and wide.
9.5 to go. Evan, I think you're going to see the urgency even move up another level for Duke. I don't know if you'll see any personnel changes, but we spoke to Robbie Church a couple days ago. He said he wanted 2 players per position. So keep that rotation going, keep fresh legs, keep that attack alive.
And he believed they had the depth to do that. And if you had told me before today that Tony DeLuz would have more different players in this game than Robbie Church, I would have said you were crazy. But right now, that is the case.
And 12 of their top returners, 12 of their top scorers return, 10 starters return, and then the depth, because you add number 3 recruiting class by some publications, number 5 and others with Top Drawer Soccer, 9 straight top 10 recruiting. That's, to me, is mind-boggling just because Carolina's right beside you.
Not to mention Virginia, Florida State, Wake Forest, and all the other strong competition in this league. How about that move?
Whoa. Great job by Frank. Look at that. The ball is to her foot.
And with a string. DeMarco switches fields. Faircloth. Pass sent away. Mitchell heads it forward. Bedford.
And Bedford moved up a little to the midway line, but still hanging back and not quite as confident to move that young line all the way up.
So Tony DeLuce motioning to his defense. Get back, get situated. Know who you have.
I think that's why Bedford you saw hang a little bit. One touch play by Duke. Great play defensively by Wake Forest to put two defensive players on it. They sniffed it out right away. They knew it was a 1-2 right outside the box with a chance maybe to put a shot on, and Wake Forest escapes without allowing Duke to at least attempt a shot on Caitlin Parks.
Just the experience disparity throughout the night. Wake with only 2 seniors in its starting 11, but one of them's Hannah Bedford, and she was the central defender in that sequence. Will need to be again here. Second chance opportunity. McGuire with a left foot. Goal kick.
I think Pluck is upset that McGuire didn't play her, because you saw with her back up, she had, I guess, a little bit of a better angle. She was obviously closer, but Pluck kind of gave her a look like, why did you waste that sitting right here?
To the dismay of Tony DeLuce, that's a handball against Wake. 6 minutes to play in a 1-goal game.
Good job by Faircloth. That is an upperclassman move right there, to step up and immediately sniff out that pass. She's definitely playing like someone from the Triad area.
So we mentioned a couple times, Ty, last 2 meetings between the Deacons and the Devils, gone down to the wire. Duke found goals in the final 5 minutes to win. Now in the final 5.5, they're looking for a tying score.
That was going to pop
here
up.
Comes Mary Kate McGuire, but alert play by Brecken Monteith, the freshman from Huntersville.
Had to stretch out, make the slide tackle just to get it out of play. And Duke has nobody running on the far stick. 2 players running near stick, nobody for the trash collection.
Well, after tonight, everything changes. You have film to study. You get into a routine of the season. You move on to your next game. You're in the midst of classes. Of course, some are virtual. And the fact that we've returned to competition is a huge step forward. Both these teams would love a result in their favor. And Wake Forest, even at home, I think, considered itself the underdog tonight, trying to pull this victory off. Taylor Mitchell, dangerous. Second effort, too tall. Olivia Migley, great high school friends with Wake's Carrie McIntyre. Nearly the game-tying strike. Missed by that much.
Look how close that was to try to match her buddy, Carrie McIntyre.
How many times do you think they've talked about what this experience competing against one another at the level would be like?
I know.
They didn't know until literally a week ago that it would be against one another to start their college careers.
Yeah, alone to be these primary targets right now. The game on the wire, of course, Carrie McIntyre with that crucial goal for Wake Forest. And good look by Migley there that very well could have tied it.
Closing in on 3 minutes to play. A game in which 27 shots have been taken, and 21 of those 27 shots have been launched by the visiting Blue Devils.
Smart idea by the Deacons. Put it into space there. Time is on your side. Put it into space. Allow your play to run on.
Wake Forest has played 18 different players tonight.
This could be an equalizer.
And there it is. We're tied all. Once again, the Blue Devils strike late against the Deeks. Sophie Jones, her first career collegiate goal.
So close. Wake Forest gets it down to the 2-minute mark. And Duke, who's been constantly knocking at the door, playing it inside the 18, was just able to poke it through inside the 18 and get a shot on goal and get the equalizer.
Beg your pardon. Jones with the assist. It's McGuire who sent it home. 88th minute, we're tied 3-3.
The trend continues, unfortunately, for Wake Forest. Those late goals.
I don't know about you. I did not expect to see 6 goals scored tonight.
Not at all. I would bet money I was not going to see 6 goals tonight between two teams that haven't had time to practice, to do film work.
Could Wake score the 7th right here? Faircloth creates a corner kick opportunity.
And great poise by Faircloth, able to kind of back off. She knew she was close to the touchline and allowed Duke to push it over the touchline and give Wake Forest a corner kick.
Faith Adams sends it in, headed right back to her. Here's Faircloth. The cross, punched away by Heinsohn.
Oh, what a beautiful cross. Had Ryan Brown right there.
Kept alive, under a minute now. Wake Forest in front, unable to control. Recovers, Faircloth. Nobody home.
Oh, Faircloth kind of allowed her body to move to the left, kind of a fadeaway type shot. But she did have a good look. She was looking to go upper right-hand corner to get the game winner. Thrilled she had a chance there, though.
We've waited 6 months for 90 minutes of soccer, and it appears 90 minutes tonight will not be enough. Duke in the final rush. Overtime from Spry Stadium is on the way.
And Chow kind of knocked down center defender, went down. But we got more soccer coming up, don't we, Evan?
3-all after 90. Overtime, Beckens on the clock.
I'm going to expect, you see Ryan Brown inching out to the wide. This is where she's dangerous. She started up top. We saw her in the middle. That's where she got her goal. I want to see if Duluth makes her push herself out wide, stretches this field to create opportunities.
Next goal wins. Could we be headed to another tie for Duke? There were not many goals scored in Duke's overtime games a season ago. Wake played 7 overtime games last year. A win, 2 losses, and 4 draws.
And as far as the mentality for both of these teams, I think Wake Forest is at an advantage because, you know, they're coming in with don't know, and there's just not a lot to expect from them. So here they are tied. Anything can happen for them. They're just happy to be still in this ballgame.
This is a corner kick, though. Mary-Kate McGuire getting the deflection. And Tess Bodie headed to the corner flag. Sophie Jones running with her toward the corner. Some bonus minutes for Caitlin Parks. Goalkeepers split time tonight. Parks played the last 30 minutes or so and now plays here in overtime.
Up and over action. Wasn't able to apply the cross.
Interesting to note, Ty, in terms of the goalkeeper battle, has gotten 1 goal off of each of the 3 netminders. Obviously far more to it that Tony DeLuz will study, and whether he stays with the rotation or picks a winner or the battle for that position remains to be seen.
Nice little touch play by Rossi. Tightrope on that touch line.
Down the right flank, Zhao. Faircloth uses her body well. Tell you, Faircloth and Monteith, these 2 freshmen outside back, despite the fact that there's been plenty of offense tonight, I've been impressed with those 2 freshmen.
Yeah, in the early goings of the first half, I thought, you know, it's a little, maybe a little too much for freshmen here.
Took them a little while to get in the groove, but they've found a groove.
They really have. And now you see.
Can they avoid another mistake is the key. Faircloth shows her speed and touch. How about that move?
Faircloth confidence has skyrocketed since the first 10 minutes of this match, where she was inches close from getting the game winner.
It's a good dribbling, and finally Duke ushers it out of bounds. Heck of an effort there by Rossi, 21-year-old junior from Akron. There's a push.
Yeah, Rossi also played it well. She knew she was going to get contact, immediately hit the deck.
Emily Royson's probably going to ask, but it's my birthday. Shouldn't I get away with that?
Evan, you're so good with birthdays.
Today it is Emily Royson's 18th birthday, so happy birthday, Emily. Freshman from Toms River, New Jersey. No place she'd rather be on her birthday than playing her first power match on the road in the ACC.
Exactly. See if they can track this down. Good step over by, DeMarco. And it's tough from our monitor here, but I didn't know if she had maybe support. You got to immediately play for each other in these key situations. Right there, DeMarco needed 2 options. She needed somebody to immediately get behind her for her support. I don't know if she quite had it.
Pluck back in for Zhao. For 2 teams that really pride themselves on defense, the last 3 meetings over the last 3 seasons, including tonight between Duke and Wake, have seen 16 scores. And we're looking for a 17th. The shot will win the game for Duke.
Oh.
Mary-Kate McGuire sends us home 4-3. Blue Devils victorious on the road.
Just how quick she made the first touch, which Coach Robbie Church was gleaming about on the Zoom call we had that she's improved tremendously. And we saw it there. She kept it at her feet, able to turn, and a quick hit on frame gets the game winner.
Mary Kate McGuire, 9 goals a year ago, her first of the new season on the pass from Jones. A quick turn and a left-footed strike to beat Parks. Duke scoring in the 88th minute to tie, and then in overtime, the 96th to win.
Oof.
What a game.
What a game. 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Wake Forest looked like they were going to escape with a win, 3-2, and then Duke, because of Sophia Jones and what she does and what she provides in the center, was able to get 2 assists, the equalizer and the game winner.
Yeah, you're right. Sophie Jones, one of the great stars of this Blue Devils team, set up McGuire for the game winner.
9 goals for her last year.